The following is a legit Ghostbusters production.
Yeehaw!
Welcome back for another episode. Today I'm joined by my buddy Curt. Hi, Curt.
What's going on? What's going
Today
on?
we're going to be discussing the proposed plans for Ghostbusters 3, or in other words, Ghostbusters Reboot. I'm going to start off with Curt, see how he thinks about this beloved franchise being rebooted. And Curt, I'll go to you.
I don't care about the reboot, but I think we both spoke about this when we first heard about it. They're using this, obviously, the Saturday Night Live angle that they did with Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray when they were in Saturday Night Live, and that worked, but this won't. I'm not sexist. Matt will agree with me. Even he spoke about it and he'll explain his reason about the reboot, but I just want to touch on this one thing. I think it was yesterday. I just found out about it just now, so I'm going to be reading this out to Matt and see what his reaction is going to be. Basically, even though there is a Ghostbusters reboot coming, Dan Aykroyd has spoke, and this is what he said. We have written, he goes, it's 3 drafts, and they're all concepts that exist. And we are going to be able to salvage some of it and use it. Yeah, we're going to be able to use it someday. Let's get this one made, and that will reinvigorate the franchise. And then we'll go on to maybe doing a more conventional third sequel as we were planning and have another idea for it. So even though the reboot's happening, once that reboot's happened, and if there's a big enough buzz around it, they are going to be working on a Ghostbusters 3. So what do you think of that?
That is actually really amazing. I'm really glad you shared that with me, Curt. I didn't know anything about that until you just said about it, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually surprised that they're going to propose to continue the franchise. I mean, with Harold's passing, myself, I'm looking forward to it because it'll actually continue the story of the second and the first original movies. I'm not worried about the reboot myself either. I think that's just Hollywood's way of saying, oh look, we can't think of anything else original, so let's just throw something out there and change the storyline. Which brings me to something else I read the other day. Apparently it's going to have nothing to do with the first movie, the second movie, and it's not going to have any similarities at all with the first movie. So basically it's whole new story. It's why call it Ghostbusters then? I mean, you're changing every single aspect of the movie. They don't even know how the Ghostbusters are going to meet this time around. So I mean, if it's supposed to come out next year and they have no idea how they're going to do things yet, their script better just be thrown in the shredder at this point, for all I care. I mean, I'm not upset they're doing it with Wayne. That's fine. You know, if they want to do a Ghostbusters with more power to them. I'm the furthest person that's sexist. You know, and both of us are the same way. We're not sexist or anti-feminist in any way. I mean, they have every right to make a movie they want to, but it's just the fact where why screw up something so dear to our hearts that we've come to call a franchise that we grew up with, and then just say, okay, well, you know what, we're gonna make a movie because we feel like spending $2, $3, $4 million, just on something that people want to throw together.
Yeah, let's definitely clear this thing up a minute. Hold on. Let's clear this thing up first. We're not talking about raping childhoods or nothing, right? When you're saying about near and dear to our hearts, we mean obviously we grew up with it and we do like it, and people always say, oh, it's raped our childhoods, we don't, it's not about that, we don't care about that. But what we do care about is this is we want to see newer ideas and new things happening rather than constantly going back to stuff that was popular and was successful and using that, but then having nothing to do with the people who, you know what I mean? That's what we're trying to get at. We're not saying it's raping childhoods or anything stupid. We just don't feel it's right to constantly keep rehashing the same old shit that worked before, but expecting it to work now by completely changing. All they're doing is keeping the name. But I got some more news on the reboot. Obviously, we know Paul Feige's directing it, don't we? But it says the Saturday Night Live actress Cicely Strong has been cast in a major supporting role, which will see financially sort of legitimizing the Ghostbusters. So that's obviously going to be some sort of part of the story. So that answers your question about the story. In a way, kind of. We've got Cicely Strong, who I didn't even expect to even be in it because I never even saw her in any films at all. I didn't even really know who she was. But apparently she's going to be legitimising the Ghostbusters financially, so that's something. At least we know a little bit about it.
Huh. Well, I didn't hear about that either until just now. I mean, since this movie's been announced, where he's going to be attached, Paul Feig's going to be attached to this project. It more or less to me just killed any interest I had in the franchise at all. I mean, I'm not gonna say I hate the franchise now. I mean, I don't hate it at all. It's to the fact where you have such iconic figures, not just because of Ghostbusters in general, but you have, Bill Murray, who's been attached to projects like Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters, Caddyshack. I was just gonna say Caddyshack. Harold Ramis, who's been attached besides Ghostbusters, he's been in Stripes. He's been in a couple movies like I forget what other movies he's been in too, but and
He
Dan
wrote a lot
Aykroyd.
of good ones too.
Yeah, I mean movies that I grew up with. I mean movies you can't replace. I mean when you take somebody of that stature, who over a lifetime of career had all these movies under their belt, and then I'm not saying that these actresses for the new movies aren't worth it, that their credibility is not that good, but it's the fact where when you grow up with something and somebody wants to come in and change it to that extreme, it just makes you stop and say, why the hell would they want to do that? I mean, you have, even with the supporting roles like Annie Potts, who played, Janine Melnitz, their secretary, or, Sigourney Weaver. I mean, she was a major supporting role, played Dana Barrett, or Rick Moranis, who played Louis Tully. I mean, all these actors have great past. I mean, Sigourney Weaver, was in the Aliens franchise. Rick Moranis, who was, in Ghostbusters, did the Honey I Blew Up and Honey I Shrunk the Kids movies. It's to the point where they're icons. Every single one of those people are just Hollywood
From the 80s.
icons.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you want to go into the character roles too, I mean, we're making this new movie and you have the possibility of new things happening. Well, I hope to God they don't destroy the franchise by using the original Ecto-1 vehicle. I mean, the Ecto-1 car was a character in its own essence. I mean, even though it didn't talk or speak or have anything, its role in the movie, it was generally its own character.
I agree with you, but I don't think they're gonna do it, Matt. I really don't, because after reading that now, you gotta feel a lot better after reading what I just read out about the fact is nothing. Obviously, we know it's nothing to do with the thing. All they're using is the name really, just for a cash grab. But Dan Aykroyd said he is making one, even though he has promised one in the past. I know that you spoke and you've touched on about when you were younger, and it was a talk about it then. But it looks like it might. That he's been working on it for so long now, and when he did say that he was making a game about Ghostbusters, even though I didn't believe him, the game did come out, didn't it? So maybe it is gonna happen. Maybe they are gonna bring Ecto 1 back, but it's not gonna be in the reboot. It's gonna be in a third sequel. So
I hope so. I mean, it's to the fact where, I mean, a week ago, or even a few days ago, before I found this information out from what you told me, it was to the fact where I stopped looking into it. I knew this project was going to happen, but now that you mention that again, I'm going to start looking into it to see if there's, any movement on it. I mean, it's just to the fact where I'm overwhelmed with excitement now that this project might actually happen. And I think if it's a do or die moment. I mean, if they're going to do it, they really got to get their shit moving, because if they wait any longer, they might lose somebody else. It's just
I agree. Don't want to sound depressing, but I agree. But what we will do is we'll all be, doing our research, looking for as many things as we can to find out as much stuff as we can about the reboot and the third sequel. Obviously, we're more excited about the third film, but we obviously have got to talk about the reboot. So any news, as soon as we get it, we'll upload a video. Also, Better Call Saul, I think you and Chris are going to be doing a review on that. The first 3 episodes, and we're going to be doing a review of every episode then afterwards until the season ends. But yeah, I had butterflies reading that, and I want to know if what you're looking to see, if there's going to be anything you want to add to that, Matt.
As far as the Ghostbusters franchise, you mean?
Well, like the the reboot, even though you're not excited about it, and I'm not excited about it, do you feel a lot better now that the sequel that there is going to be a third film? Do you feel a
Oh,
lot better about the reboot now?
oh, absolutely. I mean, now I know that there's news going around that they're actually going to go through with a third film. It makes me feel better. It's to the point where, you know, even if they make or a sequel or a reboot, whatever you want to call this new movie coming out, I still have the inner peace of knowing that the project for Ghostbusters 3 actually isn't dead then, that they're actually going to still go through with it and try to make it work, which that's long away the news that I needed to hear. I mean, it's something that, you know, it's a franchise that I hold close to my heart, so I mean, it's worth it. I mean, it's worth investing the money into a project like this. And if Sony or anybody, if you're listening, make this movie. I mean, just for us, you know, just for the essence of a childhood dream. You know, when we grew up with this stuff, it's something we hold close to our hearts. And said, you know, it needs to be done.
Let's not forget though, people are gonna obviously watch this and think, well, Bill Murray weren't on board last time and he didn't want it to happen. So what makes you think is gonna happen this time? There's gonna be a point now where Al Ramis is gone. There's gonna be a point where like, oh, you've got to do it. Like he was there for the game. Like he said that when he done the game that he had a bit of like he wanted to do a Ghostbusters. Like he had the spirit to do another one. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like because the game was so good. But I think if is ever a time to do it now, it has to be now because, like you said, Al Ramis is gone. We don't know if you're gonna lose another one because obviously, you know, the world is an evil bitch. But he is gonna they are gonna have to honor this guy. Like they are gonna have to honor his memory. And the best way to do it is to like finish off this Ghostbusters.
Exactly. I mean, eventually they're gonna have to end the franchise somewhere of the original cast because I mean, no one's gonna be around forever. But I mean, it's to the point now where if they want to do it, they gotta up their ante and step on it because it's the fact that if you don't do it soon, you're not gonna be able to call anybody because they won't be here.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. That's all I got. Anyway, I don't know about you, Matt.
That's about all I got too. So I think we're gonna wrap it up for this video. Any comments or questions, leave them down in the link below or the box below, and we'll try to address them or elaborate on those later. Drop a like button if you liked the video. Like it if you didn't like it. We could use all the support from you guys. We appreciate it.
Also, though, I want to add one thing.
Sure.
I got the link for the thing I just read, the article. I'm going to leave in the description the link for the article so you can read it yourself.
That's wonderful. That way our viewers can watch that too then or look that up. But I do appreciate all you guys for your support and your watching. We do appreciate that. And stay tuned for any updates. We'll update the best and as soon as possible as we can. As soon as we get news available, or if there's anything that you guys hear that we don't address and you have a link or something you want to attach to the bottom, leave that too. We'll look at that. And I think that's all the time we have for this video, and we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.